Noches. Hello, everybody. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our CPC meeting, March 3rd. It's 6:45 call to roll. We've got Angelica, JC, Teresa, Randall, Jackie, Natalie, Stephanie, Jemiah, and Giovanni. So JC's gonna go over our agenda. Do we need to approve the meeting notes from last month?
Yes, I did send them in email. I can screen share though too, if that's easier. However you want to do it.
Oh, I guess this isn't last month. As we mentioned, we
That
weren't
would be
able
great.
to meet last month because we had inclement weather. So this is from January 6th, it looks like.
Yeah, you do it.
I'm just taking a
If you
minute
could
to
share, JC, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Really is. You know, the thing is, I wonder, the name, the daddy, did we ever got plates and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably.
Yeah. Remember when Picati was starting to walk? He would fall down the ladder.
Yeah.
Oh, he's like you.
Okay.
Yeah, she loves it.
It has a whole lot of love.
So there's the meeting notes.
And so does the mother.
Yeah.
I motion that we vote to approve these meeting notes. Do we have a second?
Why don't you get ready and then you can watch.
Randall second. And Jackie, all those in favor? Any abstains? Awesome.
We'll get her take personal drinks. Put alcohol. You get her out.
We don't like people in December. They're kind of violent.
Hi, Allison.
You know that?
Hi. I'm gonna just turn off my volume for a minute. There's noise around me.
Yeah.
Hey, James, where are you right now? You left the ER with the paperwork.
You see where to mute, Allison? If you just click on your audio button, it'll mute your background. Thank you.
She's super feisty.
Awesome. So sounds like we have a majority to approve these minutes, and I'll hand it back to JC to go over our agenda.
Great. So it's a short one tonight. We did have a blessing. If anyone's feeling called to provide that for us, I'd just love to have anyone welcome. I'm called just to share that we were talking about a beloved former professor, Dr. White Eyes, and he had this wonderful philosophy around canoe journeys. And so every member of the canoe was so needed and valued to get to that destination. And in Lakota, we have something very similar. And in all of our cultures, really, but if someone's a rebel spirit, that's honored, because you never know if a rebel spirit is needed. Or if someone's, a little lazy, you never know, and so there's never not value here. And so all of us are needed, especially now in our society. So find out what it is, what is your, passion, what's your joy, whatever it is, and just bring that into everyday life. And, I'm just so humbled to be amongst so many people. So thank you. And then if anyone else wanted, and then we have Teresa with RCC powwow update.
Sorry, I got an email with the old Zoom link. I just had to put that in the chat for Jackie. Yeah, RCC powwow. So last year, David West kind of pulled me aside and said, hey, I have called RCC and told them that you're going to be organizing a powwow because we don't have the Mother's Day powwow here locally anymore. And I really want you to say yes. And you know, when an elder comes, you just say, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. And so they called me today, and it just so happens that one of my really good friends handles a lot of the events for RCC. And she said she was there with their equity person and said, we really want to do a powwow. And it would be at the Grants Pass not co-location. What is the word? Campus. Geez. It would be at the Grants Pass campus. And they said, you know, we could do Mother's Day, but that's not going to be a very good time for us. And then I thought, well, what about Father's Day? We don't have a Father's Day powwow ever. Why don't we do that? And then when we were looking at calendars, realized that June was going to be the best time. It is really hot. However, we could start the first annual Indian Ed graduation powwow at RCC. And so, and that just makes me want to cry saying it out loud. But we could do the powwow. They're good with having, of course, lots of academic vendors. Tabling, and then having vendors. We can do all of our ceremony. And I love the ceremony that we do with our graduates. It's really beautiful, but it might be something that we can replace with that, or we can have that in addition to. I do know that in our communities, the more broad, the more of your community that you can invite to celebrate these types of transitions, especially for graduates and incoming kinder, the better. So I told them that we were having a meeting tonight and that we would all decide together, and I could call them back tomorrow and let them know, yes, we want to do it. That would mean that we would need to have the flyer and start marketing it right now. They also have a budget to pay for a lot of the things we wouldn't have to pay for the grounds. It just seems like a really great opportunity and a good time to do this. So, but I need your input and feedback and what your thoughts are.
What weekend are you thinking of doing this?
It would be, let me get to the calendar. I think she said that it would be June 21st.
Okay, because that first weekend is the Veterans Powwow at the VA.
June 7th. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And then I think their graduation is June 14th on a Saturday. And so we would have to be the following Saturday.
So
I like the idea of it.
anytime you have a powwow, it's gonna coincide with another powwow for summer. So what's going on the third weekend is Delta Park. PUMHA Treaty Days is held in the late June, beginning June's VA, and then we also have graduations. So June's tough just for graduations. I know we couldn't attend.
It
VA,
is really tough.
you know, is my only feedback. But also
Say that again, Gracie.
graduations are gonna be
You
on
couldn't attend that day?
the Veterans Powwow because of all the
Okay.
graduations. And that's pretty common from my talk with the SOIC, and they expect that, but that's their time. Because basically all of Oregon kind of has that unspoken agreement with their powwow schedules. And so it's always LCC, SOU, you know, and all of those things. So that would be my only thing for June, is just the graduates. And then also I would still want to see them honored and I know SOU does it very easily, just blanketing them like in between, so I think that would be great, but I think it still needs to be the focus if it's gonna replace that beautiful Sarah, you know what I mean? So I
Agreed.
would love to still see that somehow.
When is Ashland's graduation?
You
I
mean
don't
the
even know.
varsity?
So all the schools basically start from May 15th until about June 15th. Yeah, from Ashland all the way to, like Three Rivers. So I'm not sure.
And then I have to be at the SOU commencement. I will, as soon as I hear
Yep.
from Dr. Stillman, I'll let you guys know about that one.
Oh yeah, I wonder when that is. I'm
Yeah.
potentially might be walking. I don't know.
Oh, yay! And Annika! That's so exciting.
Yeah.
So
I'm just looking up on North Medford. I don't know if they do all the high schools do their graduation on the same day? And I don't see anything on their calendar, actually.
I'm getting a
I'm
list of
not
all the
sure.
graduations right now.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah. It's gonna be tricky, but I think it's gonna be amazing. So, and we do tricky every day, and also we manage people's feelings every day, so some people might be hurt that, it's taken place during their powwow, but also it's really hard for our families to travel to, like Pendleton this weekend, I mean, that's
Mhm.
8 hours. So, yeah. And I think just going about it in that good way, I mean, you received it from an elder, like, yeah, I think it needs to happen. So whatever we gotta do, we'll do it.
Yeah. Hold on just a second. This is not, I've tried to put too much into the chat. Let me get it again. Yeah, those were all of my thoughts, but let's look at I didn't even think about looking for all the dates until right now. So let me look at this. Okay,
Well, I
here's for
don't know
SBU and RCC.
if you wanna, I would propose that maybe we could do a subcommittee if anybody wants to help with the powwow.
Oh yeah, we definitely need to, that was part of the reason that I wanted to talk to you all, because planning a powwow is no joke. Okay, I just did the SOU and RCC, and there's Jackson County, and then let me get Josephine County.
So Medford is all having theirs early in May.
Yeah, some of them are at the end of May. Okay, so it looks like,
Nothing is listed for Josephine yet.
okay. Do you see it now?
I do see your list, but all the ones under Josephine County are not listed yet.
Yeah,
it
they
says
do
no
agreements
information.
with
I
the
see, they
other
don't-
schools, basically. So they're like the last to schedule. So,
I didn't see Craters either. I think
Central
last
Florida.
year they were kind of early too. Or not last year, year before last. When Jacob graduated, they were kind of early.
Yeah.
But it does look like SOU and RCC are both that weekend of June 14th.
Mhm.
I wonder if,
And when are we off work, Teresa? Is it the first week in June?
I don't know, it may be different this year. Last year, it was like really early on the second week,
Okay.
but I can double check that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they would be willing to go into May.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, because when did graduation start? It was like May 28th.
Yeah, and also their staff would still be on, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And then we can
Although,
honor all the graduates too, which worked out really well last year. So they
yeah.
have it for their ceremony.
So JC, are you saying that you would like to see us still have our own ESD private event like we did last year to make it
No,
special and the powwow? Okay.
no. No, I'm saying if we have the powwow in May, then those graduates, whatever honoring that would happen during the powwow, they would have for their individual school ceremonies.
Okay.
So like if we give stoles or whatever, because honestly, the first year, COVID year, trying to honor, I think we only had like 29 students, but I was driving to like random houses, I mean, it was like a lot. So it's
Mhm.
nice to have them come to you and be like, here, here you
Yeah.
go, and then
Yeah.
we used the school mailing system one year, and the schools did not like that either. So it's tricky, Like I said, we manage this every day, but yeah, it would be
The
nice to
only
have that.
drawback with considering May is that we would have to hit the ground running right now with May because we'd have this month, March, April. I mean, we're looking at
And
tops.
we're
when
also
we-
looking at university powwows too that are happening
Mhm.
during May.
Yeah.
Are there typically Memorial Day powwows?
Klamath has one.
Yeah, Klamath does have one.
Um,
Oh, and the first
Brooke should have a
powwow, the first Indian.
powwow binder at SAU, just kind of like
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about like all of the stuff that we've had to do. That was Stassi put that together. That was like her capstone.
I remember you
Um,
talking about that.
but like Hava would be a really good one to pick the brain of because Hava has been helping NASU for years with
Mhm.
their powwow.
Well, and we also have Alyssa too, not that I want to put more
Yeah, she
pressure
would
on
be, I'm
her.
sure, honored to support.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are doing one. She's partnering with Native Women Share, and they're doing a council this year. Last year, Alyssa retreated to Mount Shasta for a week at the end of the powwow because she had done it all by herself. And so
Mhm.
it was like just a spiritual recovery, of doing so much. And so, of course, yeah, she'll support you. So there's an Indian Ed program in Willamette Valley, May 31st, that I do want to support, because she had reached out to Teresa and I, because they're doing their first ever one. So, but if it's the same, it's the same day.
Yeah.
But if we could, I do want to
But
certainly.
you know what is so beautiful about this is that we've had, all we had was the SOU powwow here
I
locally for
know.
a
I
while.
know.
And now we have all these options to,
And events and so much
Mhm.
new, it's
Yeah,
wonderful. It's really
good
wonderful.
stuff.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, I was a chairman at NASU, and I'm pretty sure I still have all of our committee notes because we had pages and pages and pages of the committees that you have to have.
Mhm.
Drum committee, vendor committee, food committee, marketing committee. I can look for those and see, just like copy them for whoever's going to be in charge so they can kind of have a blueprint of what you actually need to do to put on a powwow.
Yeah. And the biggest thing too, which I'm sure Jackie would be a huge help with, is the flags. Are Bob Tom through SOIC, but those are, he cares for them and keeps them. So it's like, if he's got something else going on, that ain't gonna work, so it's just a lot of
Mhm.
scheduling for all of those. And also thinking about potential drum groups, if there's another, but these things
Mhm.
happen.
And the planning, how your program's going to go,
Yeah,
what events you're going to hold, if it's going to be 1 day, 2 day.
yeah.
There's a lot that goes into it.
So
And
you
I'm
know
really
what I
happy to hear that
Mhm.
they're gonna give us some funding because that's also
Yes,
a big
that's
part
a
of
big
it.
deal.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking is
That's a big
because
deal.
when you put that, when you put a powwow together, you're paying for the venue, you're paying for all the
Mhm.
drums and all these things.
So Teresa, can I just speak what I'm feeling from my little heart?
Yeah.
It should be May 5th for Missing Murder Indigenous Women
Oh,
or the weekend.
okay.
And Allison, so basically it's all the flags that you see at Grand Entry for all of our veterans, and then the Eagle staff carriers. So those flags are cared for all year round. And here locally, it's one specific person that does all of the flags, but like the US flag, the state flag, POW, all of those flags for our veterans for Grand Entry.
And we have an ESD flag that will be coming out
Oh, I forgot about that.
in honor of our academic warriors.
Hmm.
Mhm. So
Oh,
Jackie will be in charge of that process.
oh, thank you, Jackie. What an honor.
And then I have the Eagle staff is in my room.
Mhm. All right.
Um,
Well, let's figure out the date. If everyone agrees on May 5th, I'll call them tomorrow and ask them if that's available. And if
so
you,
that's a Monday.
well, we can do it maybe, let's see. So if we're doing
The
it for
10th?
MMIW, then
Or the 3rd before.
Mm-hmm.
the 3rd or the 10th.
So are you wanting just to do a 1-day powwow or a 2-day powwow?
I think a 1 day to start.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, depending on how many tabling and vendors and, you know, depending on the participation overall, we may, but my gut is telling me that this is going to be something that we can sustain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
And
within
what's nice
our
too
own
is you'll
program, we
have
have a lot of
that-
dancers now.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
have vendor fees like that, and that'll help go back
Exactly.
into
Exactly.
into the program.
Mhm.
I
Well,
don't
I'll
know
have
if
to
we-
ask on that since
Yeah.
RCC is providing everything.
Yeah.
They may want to have those vendor fees returned to them, but I can ask.
Yeah, I know for us, all of our events we ever did in the past, it was donate one item from your table, and that would be for a raffle or for honoring gifts. You know, because we also want to support those relations that are vendors, you know.
Yeah.
But also, gosh, are you doing this through Indian Ed, Teresa? Or are you doing this through, yeah. Okay. Because we
I
can't
told her-
accept payment for an event, even if it is like a vendor. I don't know if we could. We'd have to really get
We can accept a donation.
donate. Okay,
Mm.
great.
Hi, everyone. I
Hi,
unmuted
Allison.
myself. Hey.
Great.
So I have a friend that I could invite as a vendor, and I had previously talked to her. She has a fry bread food truck, and I had previously asked her if she would be willing to do any events that we set and make donations with some of the proceeds towards our towards Indian Ed, and she sounded really open to it, and so I can invite her if you guys would be up for that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This sounds cool. I don't know. I think May 3rd or May 10th. I don't know what other powwows are going. Maybe Delta or PSU.
I
Yeah.
think the 3rd would be good.
Yeah.
All right.
That's cool though. Yeah. So totally.
It is really cool.
Really cool.
So we're leaning towards May 3rd.
That's so early.
So May 3rd or 10th, but prefer the 3rd. I know that means that's what I'm saying. We're gonna have to like move really fast
Yeah.
and hard, especially with securing drums. And getting the vendor application out there. It's a lot. It's gonna be a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna, yeah, because it is a lot of work.
Mhm.
So are you going to honor MMIW or just have it on that day? I mean, I don't
Yeah, that's what
understand.
I'm wondering. Is it MMIW and graduation, or is it just one or the other? How are we
I
gonna?
thought it was
approach that?
graduation.
Yeah, I guess that's
So
true.
there is the Pacific University and Beaverton Hillsborough School District Indian Ed Powwow, which is doing an MMIW event
Weekend.
on that same day.
Yeah,
Okay.
once LCC starts, Lane Community College, it
Mhm.
doesn't end. And then the
Mhm.
tribes powwow starts. And then, yeah, it's like them weekends are locked in.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think maybe just graduation then, I don't think, yeah. Because that is honestly, it's amazing. And just
Mhm.
see the kindergartners come in. And I
I
think
know.
having it be a powwow would be much more attendance.
Mhm.
Because we got a lot of families there, but not the community.
Mhm.
So I think that would be really beautiful. And honestly, what our kids are doing is amazing. Like they got through those COVID years. Like,
Mhm.
yes, they need a powwow. They need to be honored, in a
Yeah.
big way. Like it's amazing,
The really cool thing about graduations, though, they're usually happening on a Friday, not so much on a Saturday, right?
Except for like the universities.
Except the
Oh,
university.
right.
Universities
Vacation
and colleges,
Wednesday.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it would be okay, Teresa.
Because both SOU and RCC are both on the 14th.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the weekend before that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at, North Medford Thursday, Wednesday,
Wednesdays.
Friday. Yeah, we don't have anything for Rogue or Central Point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe I just shoot a quick email out to the schools and ask them if they've set their date. But we may be able to push it out to June so that we have more planning time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, it's gonna take every second, every day,
So there's no powwows listed on powwows.com yet for the month of June.
Okay.
okay.
But Piamsha is for schools or just in general?
Just in general, it's on the powwows.com
Mhm.
website. So it's whoever puts in like their flyers and stuff. They put it out on like a big calendar for the year.
Oh,
And so
okay.
what is the dates for June? Can somebody, I don't have my,
I
Piamsha
thought you
in June.
said the 21st of June.
okay, 21st. Was there one earlier in the month that you all had?
So June, we've got Delta Park Powwow in Portland, Rogue Valley
Mhm.
Veterans Powwow in White City, but it doesn't have the date, it just says June. And PMI Shaw Treaty Days in Warm Springs.
Okay.
Yeah, Piamsha.
And so what is
Okay, so
the,
Treaty Days is the 27th of June. The Veterans Powwow is always during the first weekend in June.
okay,
That's what it
so that'd be the
says.
big- so it would be the 10th of June, June 10th. So we have the 10th or the 21st. Or what is that day?
The 10th is Tuesday.
Okay, I'm just going by memory. Okay,
Yeah.
more.
So I think as long as we don't do it the first weekend for the Veterans Powwow, and then also
Or the 14th.
for the commencements at SOU, we
Okay,
should be
so-
okay.
So it's only the 28th in June.
Is the only weekend?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know how, yeah, the 20th is Delta Park, but that's in Portland. I don't know how many folks make it up there for that.
Well, the 20.
That's June
The-
20th.
Oh, for a Friday, I don't think that we could do it on a Friday.
Well, that weekend, so like the 21st.
Okay, so yeah, the 21st. Okay, so 21st or the 28th. Is that what we're
Yeah,
coming to?
yeah. And then
Okay.
if it's Indian Ed, are you just gonna volunteer that time? 'Cause I think we're done that second week of
We
June.
are done by then, so that's a conversation that we would have to
Okay.
have. Okay, May 3rd or the 10th or June 21st or the 28th. Okay, so we have 4 days, so I can take that back.
Okay.
Okay,
And-
so if we do it in May, is that something that you guys can be paid for?
Mhm.
And if it's in June, then you guys won't be paid for that?
There's, it's,
Because you'll be off the school thing?
I don't know. I don't know what would happen with that. Likely, I'd have to submit a request to work during that time and probably do a volunteer something. I don't know.
Well,
Um,
you should be able to get paid for it because we had snow days. We have snow day makeup in June.
Yeah, maybe. That might be that's a good argument at least. So,
Yeah.
okay.
What, here in Ashland, they're making us go to school. There's- I can't
Mhm.
believe our superintendent.
Well,
I don't think they
they didn't
actually
do
add to
anything
our
on
contract.
Wednesday, and then Thursday they closed campuses in Medford due to the ice because they didn't clean them up.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay,
Which is
Yeah,
kind of
so
a good thing because
powwow
then
planning's a lot just to
it
schedule.
is,
I mean, my
it really
goodness.
is.
Yeah,
And then you have to have meetings to make sure everybody's on
Mhm.
track.
yep.
yeah,
All your committees are coming together.
right.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Okay. So I will call RCC. I will get some clarity about working that week, those dates, whatever they're gonna be.
Mhm.
And then I will let you all know.
Okay.
Yeah. So we only have 15 minutes left. Angelica just said her Zoom is glitching. She's gonna try to log off.
So the next thing on the agenda was a grant update. Teresa, if you wanted to share anything about that, and then Angelica had meeting with coordinator.
Yeah, are you talking about the Cow Creek Foundation grant?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I just added it because it was like everything with everyone was talking
Yeah.
about. So
Yeah, well, Allison called the Cow Creek Foundation and spoke to them, and it just so happened that the deadline for the grant was today. And so we rushed to submit an LOI, which was a letter of acceptance, and if they accepted that, then they would say, yes, you can apply for this grant. And then ESD, another program at ESD had submitted their application for the same grant. So I had to go to Cabinet, and Cabinet is comprised of, what is the word? It's all of the directors at ESD. And they had to decide which one of us was going to get to apply because only one program at each organization is allowed to apply. And so they chose us to do that. It's a $15,000 grant, which will be super helpful. I worked on it this weekend with all of the narrative pieces, wanting to know what our program is, what's our long-term vision, all of the things that we talk about all the time. So I was able to get it all done and submitted. So it's in.
Yeah.
Thanks, Allison.
Yeah, thank you,
Congratulations.
Teresa.
Thank you.
that's
I have
wonderful.
something to talk with you guys about. It was just something that Jesse had mentioned earlier in a group meeting or a group message, and it was about possibility of having kids be able to do job shadows in the emergency department with me. And so I talked to my manager about that today, and she said that that is a possibility. There's a form that we would need to fill out, and it's just so that the kids could be, compliant with HIPAA laws about not sharing other people's personal information, but that she would be open to that. So that's pretty awesome.
That sounds wonderful. So, there's a few things that we have to do in adherence to the grant, and one of those goals or outcomes that Lisi had shared at the last meeting is post-secondary. So we have to do all of these things to, you know, basically gear our children up for whatever it is after school. And so we're doing, online virtual scholarship and career nights like we've done in years past, but I'm going to upload them to YouTube so they are there for a resource for every year. And so I'm going to invite anything y'all want to share, you want to pop in, I'm going to record it, you know, whatever it is, guidance, knowledge, wisdom, your career path, your education path, you know, your military service, you know, whatever it is. Because, you know, I really value trades myself. And I think it's such a, you know, wonderful skill for our children, but I'm also very passionate about scholarships. So it's like, you know, I want a nice mix in there for our kiddos. And then
We
we're
That sounds
also,
awesome.
previous graduates who might be able to present who have gone through, you know,
yes,
the welding program or, you know,
Mhm.
whatever they're doing.
Alyssa's gonna be one of my speakers. She's a current student at RCC. So I got her. So I got one so far, which is
I
wonderful.
can be a speaker. Is it
Great.
something that you would prep questions and it would be like a question and answer, or would you
You know, just
like a
creator says when. You know, whatever you're called to share, you share. And then just as long as you would like, you share that long. And then basically it's just, it could be, you know, more tradish with just telling the story of your education journey, or if you want a presentation, whatever you would think would be the most beneficial for our youth.
Okay.
So,
And when is that gonna be?
so there are going to be 2 this month, and then I'm gonna do 2 next month. And then I'm also planning college and campus tours. So you have the option to do it online where it will be recorded, or in person if you want to, you know, visit SOU with us. Or
JC, did you schedule that during culture nights or when did you schedule that? I didn't know they were already scheduled.
I've got 2 scheduled for the Thursdays that I'm not having culture nights. So March, let me look. So they're on Thursdays after school. And then my hope was that I could record them. So I have culture night the 6th. So on the 13th, the following week is the first one, and that'll be 6 to 8. And then I have culture night the 21st, and then, or the 20th. And then on the 27th is the next one. And then I'm going to do 2 more in April. But the hope is, you know, this is my last time here. So it's going to be an online resource on the YouTube page. So all of the scholarship presentations, I'm getting a really powerful speaker from Cobell. You know, so that's going to be great. And they'll share all of those things. And then it will be a video uploaded to YouTube, you know, you can just send out. So
Is it going to have resources like for Giovanni and Lola? I just happened to stumble across a bunch of scholarship places that are specifically for Indigenous students. Is it going to have information like that on it?
yes, thank you,
And we-
Natalie. So it is Native specific, because our terminology alone is difficult, you know, and like the
Yeah.
career centers aren't gonna know those things, or, you know,
Yeah.
certain, you know, if you need your CIB for a scholarship, yeah, so we
Mhm.
cover that in our present that we already do and we've done every year. So I'm just gonna redo that presentation, but then also Teresa and I are available anytime for one-on-one. So if,
Okay.
you know, this isn't helpful, we can certainly meet with Giovanni or anybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they actually had a class at his high school where they work through Jen Martzitson is the teacher, or it's for seniors, it's geared towards seniors, but they didn't have any Indigenous scholarships listed there.
True.
And I just happened to stumble across them. It was a Cobell, the American Indian Studies one. There's like about 4 or 5 different ones I just stumbled
Yes.
across, but I did it by accident actually, and that would be nice to have
Wonderful.
that.
Yeah. So
in any
Teresa and
case.
we do share, so we've got this great little TikTok, and it is Dr. Amanda Chemamith, and she's a Dene woman who received her doctorates. And she's wonderful if you follow her on TikTok, but
I
she put
might.
together a 2-minute reel, and it's applied for these, all the
I
national ones.
I
Do
think
you
that's where I
follow her,
found
Dr.
it.
Chemamith? Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's where I
that's in our
found it. 'Cause-
presentation. Oh, good.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's exactly where
yeah.
I found it
And
because
then,
it was on TikTok.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So we
Do
use that
you,
in our presentation. And then we also have a very substantial list, Natalie, of scholarships.
Okay.
There's probably 2,000, and I'm not joking, available. So
Really?
do
For
you know,
Indigenous?
that we
have
manage
you,
and update and supply.
have you heard
Awesome.
about something called College Horizons?
Yes.
Is that, that's on your list?
Yeah. So that's a new
Cool.
one. The Horizon one. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's on our list. I'll double check though. I honestly, just with everything happening politically, I've really been putting it off because I'm not sure what's all still available. And I'm just being really honest with that and my feelings. So I'm gonna, scour through them. I'm gonna double check them. I'm gonna update it. But yeah, that's happening. So if anybody wants to share, we need you. I would like to have it recorded just so it's a resource available. So for next year, Teresa can just email it to someone and they can watch it, if she doesn't have time to meet with all 300 students or, 30 that are graduating. So great. So that's that. And then the next thing was, Angelica.
Oh, I had a chance to look over the questions that Teresa, the proposed questions that she sent out. And for everybody, which we need all hands on deck, I think, on this meeting. It would be a good idea if maybe we just divvy up some of the questions, so it's not just one person going in. And then I had scheduled the meeting with Andrea, but I'm proposing to schedule it on a different day. I kind of scheduled it like without double checking my calendar. The last time we had culture night and we were all sitting in a room and I was trying to coordinate schedules with folks, but I didn't coordinate my own schedule. So I actually have another meeting that same evening, which was the 10th, and it would have been like back to back, so it's not it's really
That's
not
so
great
real.
timing.
Angelica, I feel that. I have to
Yeah.
coordinate my personal, my work, and you're a student. So it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So that's totally real and valid.
Yeah. So Allison, you in particular, I know like I wanted to coordinate with you because you explained your work schedule and that was just like kind of went over my head. But what I'm seeing on her calendar for that week looked like maybe the 12th. I'm gonna pull it back up because I had to shut down my whole thing earlier because it wasn't working. Here we are, pulling it up. Let's see. Oh geez. So it's scheduled through, okay, Calendly. And we had proposed to do it in person, with an option of Zoom as well, for folks who couldn't make it in person. So does March 13th work for folks' schedule? I would, if we're doing in person, I think the latest I could schedule is 3:45 or 4, because I have to do pickup for daycare all the way in Ashland. So if we're meeting, at Grape Street, it gives me like an hour to meet and then like just to get to pick up on time by 5:30. So she has a 3:45 or a 4.
Any other days available? March 13th wouldn't work for me.
She does. She has other days available, and they're earlier in the day. I got the impression from your schedule, Allison, that later in the day worked for you. Is that not always the case?
If everyone else aligns with it, it's because the beginning of the week, but yeah, later in the day can work.
Sorry, you cut out for half of that. I don't know if it's just on my end or if that was on everybody's end.
I'm pretty open. The days that I do work long, so it's like 12 hours, but anything for me, later in the day does work a little better. That way, I can just be engaged. But March 13th won't work for me.
Okay,
Unfortunately.
what about
So if
the
she has a different day
17th?
that we all can agree on, that would
Are you working the 17th?
the
Because I know some
17th.
Mondays you said you had off potentially.
Oh, no, I'm not working that day. That day I'm open if everyone else is open as well.
Okay, so I propose we do the 17th, and so far right now she has plenty of times available on that day. She has from 10:45 a.m. all the way up to 4 p.m.
So that's St. Patrick's Day, so wear green. And so if needed, I'm available from 12 to 1 that day. And that's my lunch break for options. I don't typically work Mondays.
Okay, no worries. I mean, we had kind of said that maybe you and Teresa didn't need to be available, that we
That's
would
great.
record
Okay.
over Zoom. I'm wondering about Randall and Jackie.
I'm laid up for the next 6 weeks. I'm not doing anything.
Okay, so you'll be on Zoom
Yeah.
then?
Yeah, I'll do the
Okay,
Zoom. That way we can record it.
And Randall?
That's my son's first baseball game at 1. So
So if we did it like early in the morning, would that work at 10:45, or is your whole day?
that would work.
That would work for
Okay.
me too. Are we still doing in person and Zoom?
Yeah, that's what we were thinking, was to have a few people or whoever could or wanted to show up in person. And then
Okay, I know
also
initially
do Zoom.
me and Randall had kind of wanted to do in person. I don't know if that would work does that work for you, Randall?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will reschedule
does.
that meeting for that day, and then we will
Staff or
also send out
Jeremiah,
a
do you want to attend?
What day was it again?
Monday, March 13th, or excuse
17th.
me, March 17th at 10:45 a.m. with a Zoom option.
Yeah, I can make it if over Zoom.
Yeah, I can do
Awesome.
Zoom. I
Thanks.
can't make it to Medford.
Thanks, Steph.
Yeah, no worries. Awesome, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm happy that most of us can make it. So
You're green.
wear green, otherwise JC's gonna mentally pinch you. But yeah, if everyone could just take a look at what Teresa sent out before that meeting, excuse me, and then we need to check in about anything
And you all,
whatever
you
chat.
know, understand that that list of questions are just suggestions. You don't have to ask those questions. You can add different questions. It was just something to put together so I could start helping you guide your thinking towards the sustainability of the program and really advocating for, you know, we started off the meeting with JC saying it's really hard for us to consistently communicate the cultural relevancy piece. And it really helps when we have administrators who understand and can advocate, even if they don't understand our culture, if they understand how to advocate, that's a big deal. So that's part of the reason that I put a lot of those questions in there. The other thing that is going to be really important in the meeting is for you to have a very strong tool of taking notes. You can ask if you want to, you know, maybe you can record it through Zoom since you're offering a Zoom, that would be an option. Or you can, I have a tool that I use to record all my meetings and it just takes, it doesn't record voices or anything like that. It just takes notes for you and it's called Otter. I think it's Otter AI. And
I have
love
that.
it. Yeah.
Oop,
Okay.
I might be on mute. Oh, I'm not on
Y-
mute. Okay, good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
so-
have it and I've used it, so I will hopefully be able to use that.
Yeah. And the only other thing is to make sure that Andrea, and if she has anyone else there with her, maybe Lisi or whoever, that they know that you're going to be recording it just for the notes. And make sure and get that in the notes as well. But I'm here. if
Also,
you-
I wanted to say I sent out a message to everybody too. That last time we had spoke with Scott, he said that he would be open to an invite if we wanted him to be present. So that was something that we wanted to, I don't know how you all feel about that, if that's, I wanted to leave it open to everybody.
Are we recording, JC, or no? We're not, huh? Did we forget to record?
No, we were
It's recording.
It is, okay. I don't see it on my thing and it didn't ask me, it usually asks me.
I don't know, I've got a little thing, it says recording.
Okay, good.
Hopefully, it says recording.
Okay.
Yeah, where it's your house.
I mean, I don't know, maybe we just weigh in on this over chat.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds great.
And we can stay on, we're 4 minutes over right now, but we can stay on an extra 5 minutes if you want to after we record.
Okay.
But I think that's it, right?
Let's just keep. Yeah, that's all, everything as far as the agenda.
Does anyone have any questions for Teresa or I? That you would like included or anything at all?
I just wanted to clarify, did we decide this date for our powwow that we're gonna plan? That's super exciting. I'm so glad to hear it. But did we choose a date? Or we're still working on that?
Yeah, I have 4
Okay.
dates that I will be sending to RCC and asking them if that works. I have 2 tasks around the powwow. One is clarifying the date, and the second is getting clear with our administrators how I would handle that, since that's gonna it may be past my contract time.
Yeah. Cool. That's exciting though. That's super wonderful news.
That is so exciting.
But I will definitely email you all as soon as I get all of those pieces done.
Take it down.
Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording. Thank you everyone if you're watching this at a later date, and thank you for, caring about our program. Thanks for supporting, the Native youth and their families in our area. And this is old JC signing off.
Bye.
Bye.